Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him.
Okay, so we got 10 people in the live right now.
Yo, that looks derp.
Okay.
That looks great. Okay, so, there we go. All right. Yeah, we were muted. Good afternoon. Hello, madre.
Madre.
That's my madre. What up? Okay, what's going on? Okay, so, what up, Mr. 297?
Bro, that's great. What we doing,
What it
bro?
do, player?
What we getting into today?
Hey, man. Dude, so, I don't know if you noticed, but I was able to upload our first vlog on YouTube.
Or podcast?
Yeah. Never mind.
Yep.
Our first podcast. I was able to upload it on YouTube. It looks good. Okay. We had a different angle. The angle was kind of like that way, so it was just kind of odd. This thing was blocking your face. Anyway, trial and error, right?
Yep.
So, what up, Brant Dillman? What it do, man? What's up, Joe? How you doing? Hello.
Man, look at you, Mr. Podcast. Hello.
Hey, man, you gotta get
hello,
you gotta get into the character.
Joe.
You gotta.
Hello, man.
We gotta get into the character. You know what I'm talking about?
Man? All right.
Let us know if audio is okay with y'all. I think it should be Gucci.
Is it too loud or something?
Move. I don't know.
Okay, I guess we'll find out.
I'm gonna end up breaking this fucking thing at some point.
What?
This arm.
From moving it.
Yeah, yours is fine though. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. So anyway, after watching a few of the clips already, we were able to pinpoint just a few things that we wanted to kind of get better on. Obviously, the audio is one thing. The audio for the episode 1 was kind of like all over the place a little bit. Just DJ Rika Eco, what up, dog? What up, JB? Anyway, so
JB. Oh.
JB, I like that.
JP and JB.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
JB Well, what up, dog?
JB Well.
So anyway, super proud of the work that we've been able to get done with this miniature podcast. The reality is that we want something, you know what I'm saying, just a little bit bigger that we can include everybody.
For sure. But I honestly I feel like if we can put like 2 people here and just 1 person here.
Right here and here.
Yeah, and then just like push the camera just a little bit
just far
back.
enough.
Because like realistically, if you see it, we still have room for like 1 right here and 1 right there.
Realistically, if we had a bigger table, something like this.
Okay.
Which I'm thinking the one that's in the back in the shed.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And just set that bitch up here.
What if we do it in the shed? Shed talk.
Shed. Ooh, yo, what? Okay, shed talk. Damn.
Shed talk.
Yeah, but it's gonna be okay. Yes.
Like shit talk. Like shed talk.
Dude, that's really good. That's really good. Anyway, yeah. So we're back on the live after having a few lives under our belly now. We were able to go live on Friday for like 4 times. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook had, believe it or not, the most outreach, I guess. We had the most views on that single video, and I think it's because we're able to share it everywhere else.
For sure. And plus, we have a lot of people that we know personally on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah.
Like, I feel like Instagram, TikTok, it's more like just people that watch us and stuff.
Sure.
We're not as... I feel like that's on us, though, for the most part.
What?
Because, like, we're a lot more engaged on Facebook compared to, like...
Well...
Because, like, we respond and all that, but I mean, like, I feel like our engagement on Facebook is just different just because we have a lot of people that we know on Facebook.
That and the platform is built to share stuff.
Well, yeah, and the fact that people have
their
own real names makes it kind of easier for the most part to even like respond to people that we know.
Yeah.
When they have, different names, it's kind of okay. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, the groups that we can share.
For sure, there's a shit ton of groups.
And they're huge groups, 45K, 250K,
sure,
whatever, So that definitely helps bring up the numbers on that. But anyway, and then another thing that I noticed kind of on the video was the camera visual
placement.
Yeah. So like, even though we're live on the phone up there, this is the main camera that everyone. Everyone's gonna focus on this camera once they're watching the YouTube video.
So, question for you.
What it do, cuz?
Let's get kind of in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a plan But let me know what you want to talk about.
Okay, no. Tell me your plan. What's up?
I was just kind of, I was just going to go like, yo, let's talk from the very beginning. Like,
Okay.
we already feel comfortable. We know
for
what it's
sure,
going to look
for
like.
sure.
We know we're going to, you know.
How early back are you trying to go? Or how
Oh,
late?
man. How the hell did you end up getting into cars? Let's be real.
I know you hate that I'm going to put my Red Bull here, but
No, you're good.
how the hell did I get into
How
cars?
did you get into, I know your first car, I think.
Yeah, okay, so honest answer,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's going to be the answer for a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people might get upset on that, but takeovers.
Oh, shit.
Takeovers is why I started liking cars. So I had a Honda.
Yeah.
You know, I used to love Fast and Furious, always wanted to do that type of stuff, but just never knew anything about cars to even have the confidence to be like, okay, let me go buy a Mustang and just build it. I was like, I don't even know where to start.
Okay.
I don't even know the difference between the EcoBoost and the 5.0.
Okay.
You know,
sure.
that was when I had the Honda.
It was just a Mustang.
So I got the Honda, you know, typical first car, da-da-da.
Four-door sedan.
No, two-door. Coupe.
Oh, two-door coupe.
Yeah, come on, bro. With the little...
Oh, with the hatch?
Yeah.
Oof.
So
is that a third door? A fifth door in the back? Is it a whole thing?
No.
No?
No.
It's just the trunk?
Yeah, just a trunk and 2 doors. And the car got discontinued, I think, at like 2017 or 2018.
Yeah.
Anyway, bought the car, tried to find some like performance stuff to do to it slowly.
Sure.
And I went on eBay and got the little microchip thing that you put in your car and supposedly adds horsepower.
Like Honda? Is that the Honda one?
Bro, not even Honda. It was
just a
literally
chip?
like a red chip that lights up. Like literally a red chip that lights up. And like that's what I started with because there was literally nothing that I could get for the car because it was discontinued.
Yeah.
It didn't have a turbo.
No.
So
what motor was in that thing?
I don't remember, but I know it had VTEC.
Oh,
That's the only thing that I knew, and I was like, yeah, VTEC. So I would
Alright.
race my buddies' Hyundais and stuff like that.
Okay.
You know, the old Sonatas and all that.
Yeah.
And like, we'd be going like, I think the highest I went in that car was like, not me, but the highest the car has seen is like 125.
Okay.
Because it topped out more than the EcoBoost, which was very, very weird. Anyway.
Lord.
And then takeovers started becoming a thing in Chapel.
Yeah.
You know, and we would go to the back of the warehouse. At first, it started at like Waffle House in on Bruce B. Downs, and like Bobby would remember that very well because like we used to go there. There'd be like a bunch of different car groups there and all that, and they'd all have like banners and of their car group name and all that.
Damn.
Anyway, yeah. So and that's when people started to swing at Waffle House meets and stuff.
Oh shit.
And then we got kicked out a bunch of times. They stopped the meets, and then we ended up going to the back of like warehouses and stuff.
Yeah.
And like that was pretty cool because like everyone was new to it, so we all were pretty safe. Like everyone kept distance.
The distance and shit.
And like it was cool till takeovers started going to the main streets and like the highways, and like they would just block intersections, and there's ambulances trying to go. And
so it was never was it always meant to disturb the?
No, it was never like that, bro.
No.
In the beginning, and like I say in the beginning to me, like, cause like I mean everyone's had a takeover phase in their life, you know.
That's
really.
I don't know. I don't know
like,
if that's a new.
So maybe it's a new thing because like it started with like 2 people,
Right.
and I remember them very well, and like everyone was trying to get in their car groups and all. It was very corny, you know.
Okay.
But anyway, so I ended up getting a Mustang midway, like before it got too crazy. So like back when we were in the warehouses, and I remember the one thing that made me stop was apparently the cops made a meet.
Fake meat?
Yeah, and they collaborated with one of the dudes that they caught.
Chill.
So his only way to get out of it was to bring 30 other people. Well, I mean, it wasn't a specific number.
Sure.
But to bring people in. And he was one of the biggest, like, creators. They said Chick-fil-A was going to be there. We should have all knew it wasn't real because it was Sunday.
And Chick-fil-A?
And they said Chick-fil-A was... Bro, like, I don't even know how we all, like, went past that. And we just kind of, like, walked through it. And we were like, oh, like, it's... Anyway,
damn.
Rick, you could look it up.
They were gonna
I think
have Chick-fil-A,
60
bro.
cars got impounded. We all got stopped. Literally, they blocked us in. They had helicopters. Yeah. It was very like there was at least 30 cop cars inside. Like they literally planned it at a place where it was big enough to bring over like 100 cars.
And then blocked them in.
And they waited for 5 hours, I think, till they recorded everyone sliding. They literally made it like a contest. Like they lined up the cars and like they would go slide and then go back around.
Here's your next
Bro.
one. All right, next one.
And
Here we go.
they recorded every single car. Every single car that swung, the people had to wait after till all of us got checked out So it was me and my buddy. They took our licenses, IDs, whatever, and you know they did a bunch of. They wrote our names, wrote our license numbers, all that good stuff to make sure that if we get pulled over again, we're in the system. And ever since then, I stopped going because that's when it started going crazy. Like, that's when we used to go to Tampa,
right,
and like start sliding cars there.
Right.
And I had just got my Mustang, so like I was still new to it, you know. And I only got it because I saw another EcoBoost guy swinging his car, and I was like, okay, so the Eco can swing.
Okay.
And that was the only reason why I got that car. Is to swing, And then Bobby gets the EcoBoost after.
Yeah.
You know, and after he gets the EcoBoost, we see all the mods on his car, and I'm like, bro, like, that's... So I start modding mine.
Yeah.
I get, you know, the exhaust, the blow-off valve, the intake, and I'm like, I'm on top of the world. Like, I did my blow valve by myself, and I thought I was like, yeah, like, car guy, big car guy, you know? And then his car blows up. So he comes to you guys.
Damn.
And I'm not going to speak much on his story, but I ended up coming with him.
Right.
And that's how I met you guys. I remember the first thing Josh showed me when he was like, what do you guys want to do with the cars? Video? And I was like, I mean, I want to race because I raced my buddy's RT when I was stock, and I beat him. And I was like, yo, like,
it's a 10-speed to go.
Fuck your V8. Like, because he was like, I remember it was me, Armando, and Elijah, the dude with the Hellcat now.
Okay.
So he had the Dodge, Armando had the 10-speed 5.0, and I had the 10-speed Eco. And I remember all three of us went out and ran it, and Armando dogged us. And we literally thought he had nitrous in the car. We didn't know anything about cars.
Armando had the 10-speed.
He had the 10-speed 5.0. I didn't know anything about 10-speeds.
Sure.
I didn't know, like, the big 10-speed hype. So, bro, literally, I kid you not, we ran it digs and rolls, and Armando would just...
Every single time.
Pass us. And me and Elijah, we were like, bro, like, you're cheating. Like, what do you have in your car? We didn't know.
Stock? Both stock?
It was stock. It was like on stock Pirellis, like stock everything.
Damn.
Like he was spinning and he was just stretching us.
Back in the day when we thought that shit was fast.
So, but I was stretching Elijah. So I thought I was like, at least I didn't lose both. Right. You know. And that's when I showed Josh. I'm like, yeah, bro, like I beat RTs, and Josh was like, well, here's this, and him beating a Hellcat. And bro, and that's when I just got hooked. I literally came back the next week.
Yeah, $3,000.
I had a $3,000 or $4,000 check from my job because I used to just wait and just accumulate it at the very end.
Yeah.
And I just came here and I was like, here. And Josh was like, bro, like that is your whole paycheck.
I remember that.
He was like, bro, just wait till next week, get some more money, and then come spend this. And I did. I listened. I was like, even though I knew I didn't need the money, I listened. Came back next week, full bolt-on, tune, all that good stuff. And, yeah, I even went with the 12 PSI or 13 PSI wastegate. It was full bolt-on. The car was full bolt-on at 2,500 miles. I beat Bobby when he was NX293 on the stock turbo. And that's when I was like, I need E30. And then that's when Jay bought me the Mickey Thompsons with the PP1. The PP1 rims with the Mickeys in the back. Yeah. I don't know if you remember that look or no. Anyway, so it was a 305, I think. Yeah, it was still a 305.
Okay.
And that was my first time on drag pack. And I was like, dude, like, I'm fast as fuck, boy. Like, y'all do not want any of this. Like, I was just taking pictures of the tires, all of it.
Yeah.
And that's when I started. That's when I raced Corey.
Oh, and you were E30 at that point.
Yeah, and I think that's when the addiction really
took off.
Yeah,
when you saw it, because by the way, Corey 10-speed on
full bolt-on
E85 10-speed GT.
Well, he was on 93, I think, at the time when we ran it.
Okay, gotcha. And then this little bolt-on stock turbo E30.
And he's like Corey knows how to dig, so he's not like new to dig.
He's a
driver.
Yeah.
So like when we ran it, bro, I was like, what just happened?
And it was a significant.
Yeah, I mean, I was ahead. He wasn't pulling on me, you know. And bro, after that, I really like, I don't know. It just went from like 0 to 1,000. I started wanting to learn about the cars.
Sure.
Now I want to know why E30 is so much better than 93. Now I want to know what the 10 PSI wastegate is compared to 13 PSI. Because now I want to put the NX2 on my car because like,
I need to go faster.
That's what I did with the stock turbo. Like, let me see what I can do to, upgrade the turbo. And literally, it just went downhill. Like, it just went downhill. And in 3 years, I had the Honda, Eco, and then supercharged GT. Like, bro.
How long did you have the Eco for? A year?
I had the Eco.
2 years.
For 2 years.
Right.
Well, a year and a half.
Okay.
And I had the Honda for like a year, and then like this for 2 months. And like, bro, it's crazy how we got here. Like, it's crazy just by coming here with Bobby just to diagnose his car and see what it needs. It turned out from this to Mr. 297.
Mr. 297. And then now Mr. 297 with an ESS supercharged GT.
Like, you know?
Atlanta.
But what I want to ask you is, how did you get in it?
Oof.
Yeah.
How did I get in it?
Because, I mean, that's a lot. We're talking years back.
I've been with my car since 16, to be honest.
Was your car what started it? You weren't into cars before that?
No. What started it for me was a little video game called Need for Speed.
Oof.
Need for Speed. So, in Venezuela, right? Mm-hmm. Originally from Venezuela. At the time, I had maybe like a PS1, because I think I had a PS2 here.
Damn, I wasn't even that freaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a PS1, and then I had a little Need for Speed Hot Pursuit at the time. So from that, it just kind of changed into like the next game and the next game. Once we got here, then that really just took off because, it was literally video games.
Yeah.
So I got the PlayStation 2, and I was able to play the other games, and then Need for Speed Underground came out, and then Midnight Club came out, so I was just on it. Always liked the cars, always loved them. Then I had a bunch of Hot Wheels. I would always just
like the Fast and Furious type.
Yeah, I was always play. I would always go to Walmart with my mom, and she'll buy me fucking Hot Wheels, and great, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I got my very first car, which was a 2013 Chevy Sonic, 4-door, 1.8 liter, like nothing.
Insert picture here.
Yeah, insert picture here.
Yeah.
It made 138 horsepower.
That's a lot of power.
Bro, it was a monster, and it was a manual. Which I really wanted a manual.
So it made it just 20 times more fun.
So it made it way more fun than 138 horsepower. I put 100. Did I reach 200,000 miles on it? I don't know. 142,000 miles on that car before I traded it in.
Okay.
So I traded that in, and then I went for a test drive on the Eco. And boy, let me tell you. Oh, boy. Boy, let me tell you, that Eco was fast.
Really?
The Eco was fast.
Yeah, it's double the power.
I mean, compared to the fucking Sonic, that Eco was fast. Mm-hmm. The first time I felt boost, 20 PSI, going down I-4. Mm-hmm. It was great. So since that day, I was like, yeah, there's more. And I can't believe that there's more. Wow, it's so fast.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I bought it.
I can't believe there's more.
Yeah, and then I bought it. And make a long story short, Make a long story short, I was caught by American Muscle. Just like almost
twin.
Everyone gets caught by American Muscle. It's a great website. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
It just sucks that sometimes they promote things that just. We'll get back to that. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, got caught up there. Bought maybe like my first 3 mods there. Okay. Sport lines. I bought sport lines. Just drop that.
Yellow
bitch.
tint.
Yeah. Muffler delete. Fucking blow up valve. Yep. I did get the Turbo compact. Smart one. Yeah, the compact.
Yeah, we all did. Bro,
yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. It is what it is, right? And then after that, in between the Facebook Marketplace, the talking to people on groups and stuff like that, I met a guy named, Lord have mercy.
What?
Trying to remember his name. N30 Dark. Jesus. His
30 Dark?
Jorge. Thank you, senor. I met Jorge. Okay. Jorge, at the time, had a pretty badass EcoBoost. Okay. I think it was still a 6-speed auto. Okay. At the time, it was a 1517. But he was like on E30, stocked. He had a Vargas turbo.
Really?
He had a Vargas Stage 2 turbo. Okay. And I met him at like a dyno day that they had. Okay. Anyway, all that led to him telling me about Parker.
Okay.
At the time, there was no Parker Performance.
Yeah, it was just Parker.
It was just PP1 Parker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to his house, and he'll help you out with mods and da-da-da. Then that's exactly what happened. I got in touch with him. He put me in touch with other people, and then it just came back to him. I bought a white pipe off of him, and like no, not a white pipe, a catback exhaust.
Okay.
So then that's how I met Jay, and then from there, it just kind of all went downhill. In the best way possible, of course.
For sure.
Because it just got me into cars, and it just got me into turbo cars. Now, you say the reason why you got yours was because you kind of saw it, and you were able to swing it, and you're like, all right, well, you can do that, I kind of want it. I actually did some research before kind of getting my next car, and I saw a video. I think it was on Motor Trend, and it was like the best cars under $30K.
Okay.
And it was like the Eco, a WRX, a Fiesta.
The Eco came out every single time.
Focus ST,
yeah.
and the Eco came out on top every single time. And the fact that it was like rear-wheel drive, 2-door,
that's what they kept mentioning too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like everything else is 4-door, and it's like boring.
Or all-wheel drive or front-wheel
all-wheel drive, right. So for me, it was like, and it's going to sound cheesy as fuck, but I thought it was like, you know what I'm saying, the closest thing you can get to an import 2-door rear-wheel drive turbo car.
I mean, it is.
Right?
It is.
The closest thing to an import car.
The customer, I hate that I forgot his name, but the customer that came with his son like a few days ago, he was like, my son hates American cars, and I told him, great, because this is like JDM.
Gotcha.
This is like, bro, turbo 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
that's literally what it did for me. I mean, obviously, the motor of choice for me would be like a 2J or something like that because of everything else. But the closest thing.
What 2J car is under $29K for brand new?
So, I mean, at the time, imagine, you know, an EcoBoost platform in 2015, 2016. Very, very small. I'm
so glad I wasn't in it back
then.
I mean, I would have blown motors back and forth.
Back, left and right. Like nothing.
I'm so grateful I didn't blow any motors.
Yeah? No, you didn't at all.
On that Eco?
Zero, bro. Like, your Eco was built tough.
Like, bro.
That bitch was tough.
And, yeah.
It was cammed out.
And it was. It literally was just, it had its own issues, you know, that she sorted on her, like, the car literally just had issues, no codes, the freaking logs look fine.
Yeah.
And it would just do things. You know, like, I couldn't drive it before it went to 1.
Yes.
Because it would just miss.
Which, by the way, that's the craziest thing.
No
you
one
turn
else,
the car on and like
and no one believes me. And I'm like, I have to chill here for like 30 minutes so the car gets fully warmed up.
Yeah.
If not, it'll miss. But with no codes, it'll just miss.
Yeah.
Like.
So I mean, it had its things, but it never blew up. It never had signs of.
It never gave me any major issue.
No.
Like all the things were like, all right, change plugs, change the low pressure fuel sensor.
Yeah.
And, like, I beat on it, I want to say, the most out of all y'all.
Sure.
I mean, not of you.
Because you would actually go and...
because yours yours saw the beating before we kind of came here.
But I blew a head gasket like at 36 or...
For sure.
30,
yeah, because mine broke 50,000 miles.
Yeah.
50,000 miles.
I think me at 36,000.
There was no leaks on the front cover, leak. Bro, like...
She was tough, bro.
Every EcoBoost has a leak in the front cover. That's the only one I've seen without a leak.
Damn.
Bobby's was leaking. John's leaking. Yeah. Everyone's leaking.
Well, I mean, she was a tough soldier, bro. And she got the best of it. What we got around here? Zach Haynes, what's up? You guys ever played Midnight Club Dub Edition? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yes. Midnight Club 3, to be specific. That's the one that I played. Dub Edition was great. Great soundtracks, too. Yeah, I heard that quick Dub Edition reference. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And says Brent Dillman says, Barra. We'll see how it goes, man.
I saw Jesse comment on the one.
Yeah, I saw it too.
He was like, "You guys think it's like," and he's not wrong. Like, it's not gonna be easy, bro.
But the idea that Brent Dillman is getting borrow swapped, and
but there's a lot of components that need.
There's a lot of components that need to go in it. By the way, we're gonna handle the installation and learn from it because when we do have a quote unquote successful swap. We're going to make it available as much as we can to the public because there probably will be people that are going to be like, what? An inline 6 from Ford? So, I'm in on it.
People know it, but they don't know it. Like, some people know about the bar. I don't know anything about it. But I'm just like, I know that it's strong and it makes power, but I don't know anything about it.
Here's what I know. Inline 6, 2J basically replica from Ford, and you can only get them in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're tough. They're like an inline. They're like a 2J tough, I believe. Someone can correct me if I'm just talking shit.
Hey, Code Dog.
Code Dog. Sorry, Bubba. You look good today, man.
Is the Barra the equivalent of the 2J?
In Australia.
In Australia. Okay. What did they put it on? Do you know? Yeah.
Really?
Dude, I'm so in. Inline 6, slap a turbo on that bitch. Fucking send it.
He said 4.0.
Oh, yeah, it's a 4.0. Yeah, the 2J is a 3.0.
Yes, it's a 4-liter straight 6, like 1,000 on stock internals.
You see what I'm saying?
So it's like a Coyote on steroids because it's a inline 6. It's not a V8.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, Coyote
Probably hold a little bit.
can hold, as much as a Coyote, sure. On an inline six, sure. Dialed in on fucking E85 or meth and fucking big turbo. I love it. I haven't seen a lot of them running, I'll be completely honest. I think the only one, Lil Chuck.
One.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him make any pass. He just started it up after, like, years of...
The other one was Adam LZ. He did a borrow swap on his 350, and I don't know if it went well.
I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
I don't watch him.
I don't.
It was in everything, even taxi cabs.
What?
But they're not cheap. Well, I guess for us, they're not cheap because we don't have them here. But for them, they're probably like LS Motors.
Yeah, for them, it's probably just
like a LS
cheap dart.
Yeah, like it's in the junkyard.
What are we looking at, Brent? What are we looking at for a Barra? Is that like a little 9K, 10K?
I mean, he said he was in less than that. I'm pretty
sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So for me, that's how I got into cars, and that's and the one thing that got me was the Fast and Furious, and then Too Fast, Too Furious was like absolute like my go-to.
Yeah.
The part where Paul Walker gets called into the race, and you have those, I don't know, those 30 seconds of just R34 porn.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what is that? Why does it sound so good? And I want it.
And we don't know, like, we were literally watching it, and I'm like, I want that, but I just know it was like
all
and like, no cap, like, right now, I mean, just saying, like, at regular R34, you would probably give it a good race for its money.
Yeah, they don't make a lot of power.
Yeah, like, you would give it a good
I think they make sub 400 horsepower.
Oh, so you would wax it. But, like, if it's just bolt-ons and stuff like you essentially are.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, I think you give it
one
hell of a run.
I would love to.
You know?
I think most of the people that have them, they're not stock.
I would love to race a built one.
Bro, I would love to own one. I'll tell you that right now.
I wouldn't. I'm not going to lie. Not anymore. Bro, once I just swapped to Mustangs, it's just so hard for me to not just jump into another Mustang just because, like, we know the car.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know the potential, I know the capabilities and all that, so it's so hard.
Starting over from scratch because basically it's a whole new motor, new everything. So $1,500 for the complete motor. I'm doing rod pistons and crank stock. Engine will hold 600 to 700 horsepower. A built engine will hold anywhere from 1,000 to 1,600.
So
wow.
Definitely a little weaker than the Coyote, but up there for sure.
So yeah, I thought, yeah.
I mean, because you would
600 to 700 horsepower
put an inline 6 in a light car, and it'll wax a Coyote, making 100 horsepower more. So
yeah, I'm in on everything, all the sounds. You know how I am.
For sure.
I just want the experience to be good.
Like, I don't know what other car
I was gonna ask you, like, do you have any other just like that one?
I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I kind of want to fuck with those either AMGs or M cars. Because my buddy has an AMG, actually 2 of them. One has an E63 and one has a C63.
Okay.
And bro, the E63 apparently is making like 700 on just tune. 93 pump gas.
Yeah.
Like 700.
At that point.
I mean, the car is like $70,000.
I was gonna say at that point you're paying for a motor.
That was like the cheapest one that he got.
Yeah.
But like, bro, you're getting a massage.
Bro, they sound so gnarly.
Bro, like he was like, yo, get in the car, da da da. It's the dude that I used to do construction with, and I saw him at the crate.
Yeah.
And bro, like he was literally just get in the car, da da da. And bro, you're sitting in. You feel like you have an extra $50,000 in your bank account sitting in that car.
Just sitting in the car.
You know, I mean, maybe that's extra because I haven't been in fancy cars and I sit in Mustang all fucking day.
Yeah.
But like, it legit was like, like, so there's power and luxury and then,
which, by the way,
I have my other buddy with the C63. He's out there swinging his car, freaking leaving me doing burnouts while getting massages. Like, bro, it's just like,
yeah. Which, by the way, some people will argue that Mercedes and BMWs and that kind of like lineup, it's not technically luxury. They call it premium.
Sure.
Premium brand.
I drive a piece of shit, so when I get in the premium brand, that's luxury. You could fight me about it.
Yeah, I think luxury would be like Bentley, Rolls Royce. Huh?
You ever work on Mercedes?
No.
They're luxury.
They are?
Absolutely.
All of them?
Bro.
If you worked on any of them, you...
Really?
I had a buddy that's a Mercedes tech. It's fun.
All right.
They buy you all your own tools. They supply everything. Like.
Oh, well, Cody's saying it's luxury, so fuck.
They're pretty sick.
I know where Cody is.
I've definitely seen, like, I mean, when you drive a fucking Maybach or some shit like that. Yeah.
Bro, you're driving on clouds.
Made by Mercedes.
Huh?
Maybach is made by
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if a Maybach,
Like,
you can't argue with that.
No, but bro,
Like
I'm telling you,
Lincoln, you know what I mean? Like people think Lincoln's.
they're like.
Yeah.
I feel like their equivalent to 5.0s and stuff would be their like C63 stuff, the AMG.
Well, they are what, supercharged V8s or twin turbo V8s?
Yeah.
Twin turbo V8s, and bro, they're rowdy. Like
I
that
mean-
car, like tune only. I think on E, those things are pumping like 500-600, easy, and you're doing that in just a luxury car. What about a C63? Is that? I think it is. I sat in my buddy's car, and I was like, yo, like
Yeah,
that's
of course.
fire.
I mean,
Like if I drive this every day, making 700-800 wheel.
yeah.
Can you really be mad at that?
The C63 is still a 4-door, right? Like that's
Yeah,
their
bro.
4-door
Like
bi-turbo
literally,
AMG shit.
they're bi-turbo.
Mm-hmm.
The turbos are literally right in the front. It's the one we saw at.
That's the one we saw at TD.
TD.
Oh, damn. Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, look.
And like apparently their drop-in turbo kits are like $5,000. So they're
That's cheap.
nothing like that's.
For like a fucking,
It's not like.
for what it is.
Yeah, but like my buddy's E63, his turbo kit is like $10,000 or $15,000 for the drop-in turbo.
So the E is higher?
Yeah,
so
the
when
E
you get an E-Class?
right code dog. The E is supposedly like more luxury.
That's their shit.
Just different body styles. So
Bigger,
C3
right?
Okay.
dictates like a smaller 4-door sedan. An E would be a bigger 4-door sedan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the GL is like a SUV.
But I do know that the E63 makes more power than the C63. But then again, it probably weighs like 1,000 more pounds. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So-
Yeah. I know Mercedes has a really badass hatchback that I think correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the highest output horsepower per cylinder, 4-cylinder ever made.
Bro, their cars are so like
Yeah.
people hate on BMW and Mercedes
Because
a
they
lot
can't afford it. That's not.
I'm
just gonna put it out there, bro.
And I can't either. Like
Yeah.
like you won't see
Yeah.
me dropping like 60-70K on an M car that makes 400 horsepower.
Yeah.
Just so I can have to spend another $30,000 to build this and build that to make what a Coyote makes.
Right.
You know,
Sure.
like they're expensive. Like, they're
Downpipe tune 700.
Yeah, but here's also the thing: they make that type of power. You know, it's
Bro,
just
what was that? Bro, my mom drives one and it's a great car. She drives a C63.
yeah, they're nice, bro.
Oh yeah, dog.
They're very like I really like those cars.
That's dope. I don't think I've ever been in a you know what I'm saying, like a luxury.
It's Derek and Nick. Derek has the M3, and bro,
Yeah.
it's like a small, compact go-kart.
Yeah.
You feel like you could just take that car and just drift it,
Yeah.
race it,
yeah.
and it's a manual.
I drove. Oh, nice.
So it's bro.
Yeah,
when
I
he's
drove an M3. I think it was a 2006 M3 manual NA car, but you could rev that bitch up to like $9,000.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was
Here, I'll show
absolutely
you
phenomenal. Let's see what we got over here. Let me see what. That's dope.
this, bro.
That's pretty good.
It's literally just like a,
It looks very
and
very
it's very small in real life.
yeah.
So like,
And that bitch has an N96 B50.
no S50, either S55 or S58.
Okay.
Let me see 63.
Hell yeah. All right. I think I want to. What's that? That's the G63.
That's the C63,
The C63. That's pretty badass.
bro.
They look so like not what
Older gens are like 10 grand.
really still. Holy crap.
You can get like an early C63 AMG.
Holy crap.
The red interior.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty badass. Yeah, I mean, dude, let's be fucking real. If you could own it, you would rock it and you would drive
For
it because
sure.
it's just way,
If you
it's
can
just way
afford
better.
it. If you can afford it.
Yeah.
You're gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me bring Bobby over here so you could get some of his. How did he start here?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, what you need, dog?
After you.
I was watching some Hormozy this morning. Yeah, you know how we do. My 35-minute drive is more like class work than it is drive, you know?
True.
It's my first period of the day, you know? Homeroom, so to speak. All right, what we got going on here?
Oh, here we go. Hey, look at them guys.
What we got going on here?
Them guys are live.
What we got?
Anyway, let's see.
Where you had me?
Let me bring you up to speed real quick.
Yeah, what we got?
Okay, so Yus and I were kind of talking about how we got into cars since the very beginning. I told him what my first car was, which was a 2013 Chevy Sonic, making a robust 138 horsepower.
That one's the manual, right?
Not even 140, bro.
Wasn't it a manual?
Yeah.
I remember you talking.
4-door sedan, so we didn't really have. I didn't have the money for the turbo version, but I knew I wanted it. Ooh.
Oh, let me turn the volume down.
Sweet deal.
There we go.
Anyway, that manual car obviously got me driving. I've only driven manual cars. I've only owned manual cars.
Wifey's car is even manual, right?
Wifey's car is even a manual car.
That's something impressive in 2023, where you got a female manual driver. That not only that, but like she's not even she's not from here. Yeah. Right. So she's not even like the American muscle, but she drives manual. Yeah. That's every day. By the way, all day.
That is most of the cars that you'll find out in I don't know, Latin America, I want to say, they're manual.
Really?
Very difficult, very hard to find an actual automatic car vehicle. Huh. I don't know if it's because they're cheaper. I don't know if it's because like more manual drivers are, you know what I'm saying? Like
for sure.
The automatic thing is like a lot of, it's just America. America.
It's lazy as fuck American
And obviously
shit.
You got European cars that are, very advanced in their automatic, but manual cars most of the time.
Yo, what's up, Sebastian?
Yeah, most of the time.
Dylan, what's going down, yo, man?
Yep.
Edwin, what's up, dude? What's up? We need to get on some Fortnites. I haven't seen you playing Fortnite in a while.
Well, I mean, the idea would be this will become something where we can literally live stream our gameplay. I did
have a 13 kill dub. Yes.
This man had a 13 kill dub. Edwin, where you at, bro? I don't see your statistics doing 13 and 1, bro. Like, what is this?
I'm only a solos guy though, so it's tough for me. Like when I see my people that are on and they're in the lobby, I'm like, do I want to go get my headphones? You
let them be.
Yeah, I don't fuck.
Edwin, how you been, brother? Where you been, brother?
So you said, like how we got into cars. I think for me, it's such a multi-layer thing.
Yeah.
I, as a young man, 2, 3, 4 years old, my mom and my biological father were still together, and I don't have any recollection of that. I don't remember that, right? I mean, you don't have memories of 2, 3, 4 years old, probably.
No, unless they're tragic.
Yeah, or if there's something that's been told, like the story that's been told frequently. Yeah. Right? And you kind of deposit that story into your memory bank, and you kind of draw off that story.
And replay it, yeah.
And you kind of replay it,
the story.
And you kind of maybe morph it and modify it to fit whatever your agenda may be or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't have a strong relationship with my biological father, as we know him here, Pops, Leonard. But what I do recall was, like, the stories of people telling me of him being a pit guy and working at Sunshine Speedway show. It was Sunshine back then.
At that time.
It's now Showtime.
Nice.
And he was like a pit guy on, I think it was called Fast Eddie's, which was like a local restaurant here in Tarpon, where I grew up. And he was like the pit guy on their circle track car, helped them with that. And so like I remember him being into cars from those stories, right?
Okay.
So I always knew he was into cars. And then as I got to have any relationship with him, like as I start to be a young man, 8, 10, 12 years old, he was, into trucks. He had a lifted C10, lifted C10, 350 on it, this kind of thing. And he'd taken like all the emission stuff off and put like carbureted setup on it and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like I remember him being into cars, and I remember like going and spending time with him and him tinkering with cars and tinkering with boats. And so anyway, I always just knew he was into cars.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, he and I wound up not having a close relationship, and it was very, estranged, if you will, throughout my growing up. So I looked to other men to have those relationships that you would have with a father, and some of those men were my grandfather, retired from Ford. The first time I ever got on a plane that I recall was flying to his retirement in Michigan, and getting to see him retire from Ford. So it's kind of a part of why I'm a Ford guy, right? And I knew that Leonard was a Chevy guy, and so Chevy Ford, the ultimate rivalry.
Sure.
Fuck Leonard, fuck Chevy.
Yeah.
Go Ford.
Go Ford.
Right? So that's kind of like the painting the picture of where I became a Ford guy.
Gotcha.
And so anyway, getting to be a part of that with my grandfather, and then my grandfather retired and moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I got to spend time in the summers with my grandfather and with my Uncle Eddie, and both of those guys were into cars, and they were all, they were doing upholstery for automotive and for vehicle, and for marine, so boat and automotive upholstery.
Nope.
And so I got to spend a lot of time in the summers there with those men and learning about their, passions and their affection for cars and modifying cars.
Have you driven one at this point?
No, I'm still a young man. I'm still 10, 11, 12, 13. I started stealing cars around like 14, and that's kind of when I started driving, was like around 14.
Gotcha.
And so I would spend time also with my mom had a brother here. That's my mom's brother, the uncle that I spent time there in Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom also had a brother here local to me, my Uncle Nick. And my Uncle Nick was into Mustangs, and he was into motorcycles, and, took me for my first ride in a Mustang, took me for my first ride in a convertible, let me drive his Mustang, before I had a license, so this kind of stuff. So, like, these things paint a really heavy picture on your heart when you're 14 and your uncle, who's a sheriff, gives you the keys to his car and says, go drive, and if you get in trouble, just call the sheriffs and tell them you're Nick's nephew.
Right.
So, me and a buddy of mine, Jason Carter, would go and stay with him sometime in spring break and this kind of stuff down in Fort Myers, and he had this drop-top 4.6, actually. I think it was the last... Okay, I might be fucking this up. It was either the last year of 5.0 or the first year of 4.6. I don't really recall.
Okay.
But it was a white drop top, tan interior, tan top with BBK, throttle body, BBK underdrive pulleys. Had a Flowmaster catback exhaust, and it had a bazooka tube in the trunk. And so we're like driving down, top down, thumping with the fucking exhaust rumbling, and we thought we were fucking hot shit. And so you kind of have this feeling, this. I'm sure it's dopamine or whatever. You kind of get this high, like you're this high on life, and so that for me was all associated with Mustangs, with Fords, with my uncles, with the men who were in my life. And then, tragically, my Uncle Nick was taken from us when I was 15 years old, before I even turned 16, and I only had my permit, and so I'd only got to do a little bit of driving and such with him.
Right.
And but I've always held my relationship with him in high regard. That I did get to, the time that I did get to spend with him while he was alive. Yeah. And so I kind of looked to the Mustang stuff to, we do love a convertible, my man. I kind of looked to this stuff to kind of be a connection for me. My grandfather has now passed along, and as well as my uncle. So both of them aren't here anymore, and both of them are Ford guys. Both of them got me into Mustang. Yeah. So that's why a lot of this stuff for me is the hashtag, so much more than turning wrenches. So this, like I said, this is multifaceted for me. It's multi-layered. My mom, believe it or not, was also like Sylvia, where she drove manuals. Yeah. And I think for her it was a matter of cost. Okay. We were poor, and so she grew up driving manual. She knew how to drive. So like when she started being able to buy her own cars and have a child, I remember she had like a Hyundai. God, I don't even know what it was called, like a Hyundai Excel or something like this, like a $5 car. But it had like tan with like nothing, stripped down vinyl floors, but it had a manual transmission. Okay. And so like I remember her driving manual, and so then once I started getting into driving, she taught us, and all of our men friends taught us all how to drive manual on her pickup truck. And so yeah, man. So manual has always been a thing in my household as well.
Likewise, man. I haven't owned actually I did the fucking RSX. Yeah. The little RSX I had for like 6 months. I had a beater RSX, Acura RSX, and it was the first, the automatic car that I've owned. That's the only one.
For sure.
Manual cars have always been a thing in my family. And funny enough, my family per se are not car people. The only one that I can reference in Venezuela that was the closest thing as a car enthusiast was one of my uncles on my mom's side. I think her youngest brother. I remember he had a Chevrolet Chevette. Okay. Do you remember those?
Yeah, a little hatchback thing. Yeah. It's very similar to that Hyundai Excel thing that I'm telling you about. Like the ugliest
this was like
little
a
hatchback.
1989 or something like that, Chevrolet Chevette. My mom had one in same color as my car.
No
Funny
way.
enough, it was like baby blue. And then my uncle had one, but he had like the new version, right? And like the headlights were different. And like that's where I started noticing, wait, it's the same car, but is a different, you know what I'm saying, like different gen. And then he painted it all black, and I think he lowered and put wheels on it. You know what I'm saying? Like he enjoyed his car. And it was kind of like the coolest, like the uncle with the cool car had a fucking Chevrolet Chevette. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell?
So much for an uncle with a cool car.
And then the other car that caught my attention was, at the time, an 08, no. It was a 2000 Honda Prelude.
Oh, yeah, the Preludes.
The two-door one. That thing was amazing back in the day, bro. I don't know if you remember, like, this one was weird because it was a two-door, but... Man, I'm going to have to find a photo to fully explain why. Like, I think it had a third door or fifth door in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like, where the glass in the trunk
Yeah, it was like a lift
together.
back.
Right. I think it had that, and that was like the coolest fucking. And it was red. It was red. So back in the day, bro, that's all you needed.
Yeah.
She was badass. Badass.
Yeah.
Jay LaGraff, yeah, ever since that one time that we drove your car, we were
Top
like,
down, stereo banging.
I absolutely understand.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it now.
We had a great time.
It was great.
We were taking applications for butthole lickers because, we had like the pink lights.
Oh,
full,
dude, we were
pink.
full flamboyant.
We didn't even care.
Fuck.
Top down. We were holding hands. Fuck it.
Yeah, we were going to, I think we did like an oil
We kissed
change.
at a couple stoplights. It was a little different.
We did something to it, and then we took it to Jay's house, man. Yeah, so, cool going back in memory lane and, kind of sharing with everyone here where we kind of came from.
For sure.
I remember my dad letting me kind of like drive while I was in his lap, right?
Yeah.
And he would do the shifting as I would do the steering. So I remember that so much.
Well, so I remember that too with Leonard, and like the things that, and anybody who has had an estranged relationship with their father, you and I have spent a lot of time talking about this.
Yeah.
Is that the things that you do with an estranged relationship is it doesn't matter if it was 1 or 5 or 10 interactions, they are burnt into your memory. Like you hold them so dear. So like I remember being in his red C10, and we were at his sister's property, which we would go to sometimes as well, which was in Bell, Florida. And he had the windows down, and I'm sitting in his lap, and he's helping me steer and teach me. And I'm probably like 8 or 10 or something. And I remember we were driving through these thick brush and like these white, furry, I don't want to call them animals. They're like insects or something, but they would sting you. And like one came in the door and got on us, and like he had to use his tobacco on the sting to like draw the sting out for whatever reason. Like I remember this. But to cater to like the memory there is I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
So then when I had a son, okay, and my wife and I were starting our family, I had bought a Nissan Maxima. And Jackson was quite literally still a toddler, like barely walking, like probably 9, 10, 11 months old. And I would get in the car and I would leave, early between 7 and 8 in the morning and drive all the way to Fort Myers and sell foreclosures and come all the way home, and I'd be home late.
Okay.
So every single morning, the start of our day was I would get him, put him on my lap, and I would drive down the road. We had a cul-de-sac that we lived on, so we would leave from my house, and he would drive us down to the end of the cul-de-sac and all the way back to our house on my lap and him steering.
What?
And I mean, he was not even a year old. And so we did this every single morning. And it was like when we woke up, like he was like, car,
my gosh.
and we would go and we get in the car and we go for a ride. And
I'm sure his story of how he got into cars is so
he probably doesn't have any recollection of that. Like I said, he was so young. Like the memory recollection there is probably nil.
We gotta bring old Jackson to the podcast and tell us how'd you get into cars, and don't say your daddy.
and so then we collect Hot Wheels for him, and we're buying Hot Wheels, and that's how most car addictions start, is 99 cents at a time. And so then he winds up with this big collection, and like I could put him on our ottoman, and he would sit at the other side of the ottoman, and I'd go
name him.
And I go, JJ, what's this one? And he'd go, ooh, Hot Rod. And I'd be like, what's this one? He's like, Camaro. And I'd be like, what's next? And he's like, Corvette. And I'd be like, what about this one? This one's Daddy's favorite. He's like, Mustang. And he'd say it with like a little twang. And so he, before 2 years old, he could name something like 60 different vehicles. And I would take him. And all the way, and still now, I still take him to car shows. But like at that time, babysitting, daddy daycare was literally taking my kids to car shows. And that was like my version of taking care of them because wifey was working and we were starting our family. And you make sacrifices at that time that, you have to figure out taking care of your kids and figuring out, you're working, I'm working, all of this stuff. So yeah, man, I have a ton of memories of just taking them in diapers and fucking having them go to the car shows and getting them and, taking pictures and.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So again, I don't know that their recall is going to include that, right? Because unless I show them the photos and we talk about the stories,
sure.
But I recall it.
Yeah, they'll probably recall more of like the right now.
For sure.
Where, like when we went to Clean Culture,
for sure,
they were there and enjoying it. We went to different shows.
Because for me, this is when like they're 12 and 13. Yeah. But for me, like my recall memory goes back to that time frame. Like that's about the start of my personal recollections.
Sure.
Do I have memories from before that? Yes, but I think that most of those are stories that were told by my mom or my grandmother or my family members, and I've kind of painted the picture of what I recall from it.
I feel that.
So yeah. Zach, what's your guys' opinion on the Mustang GTD? I mean, it's kind of hard to have one because it's such it's what do they call it? Unobtainium, right? So for me, it is what it is. It's cool. It's great. For me, I think that the takeaway there is that Ford is investing into race car stuff for the Mustang platform. That to me is exciting.
Yeah.
That to me gives me that continuation of loving Ford and desiring to be an advocate and ambassador for Ford and Mustang and those things.
Yeah.
But as far as the car itself, I could give a fuck less.
I think it's Ford apologizing for the Mach-E.
I mean, look, it's a $300,000 car, and if I'm spending $300,000, I'm probably not buying a Mustang.
Yeah.
I tell people this all the time. Like, I don't keep track on expensive cars because I just don't have a desire to own them. I like Mustangs.
Yeah.
That might not be in my to-do, but like I would be buying a GT2 RS Turbo or something probably before that.
Sure.
Because that's a personal, dream car for me. But like, I don't think I have any desire to own it. I don't have any desire to try and obtain it.
Right.
I want to maybe take some pictures with it, go for a ride with like Randy Popes at the wheel or something cool like that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I think it's just cool that Ford is investing into that kind of stuff.
I'm in the same boat. I mean, I know everybody was complaining about the price tag, but at the end of the day, if you're thinking of getting one or you don't worry about the price tag. You either want it or you don't want it.
The people who are going to buy that are going to be the same people who are able to buy the Ford GTs, so these guys aren't bickering over $200,000 or $300,000.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you got the money, if you can spend it and you can enjoy it, you're going to do it. Doesn't matter. For me, I'm absolutely in. Like, I'm so in.
Dude, if I've got millions of dollars, sure.
The way that I'm thinking about it is, I mean, do I like it? Is it fun? Does it look cool?
Yeah.
Is it cool? I mean, is it an investment? No, I don't give a fuck. I got the money. I'm buying it.
But it is going to go up in value. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be a limited run. It's going to be an expensive car, all that stuff. So it's going to go, and people are going to race them, which means they're going to get wrecked, which means they're going to be lower in value or lower in number, so higher in value, right? So that is going to happen.
Holy moly. I would love to see that. We haven't seen any interior shots of that car, by the way, which it'll look like an S650, I guess. But
let's see what Mama says. She
my
says,
goodness.
on this day in history in 1895, good grief, America's first auto race takes place on this day. 6 cars lined up in Chicago for the first automobile race in the United States. The race covered a 54-mile course, making significant milestone in the history of automotive sports.
So today,
on
this day,
well
in
played, Mama. Thank you
1895.
for sharing that.
Damn, Mama, good job.
I had no idea. I love it.
Yeah, I taught her how to use Google, and now she's fucking all over the place.
You taught her how to use Siri?
Yes. Yeah.
Well said. Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. LeGraff says 94 Dodge Shadow hatch. Now listen, those Dodge Shadows, I fucked around with little Dodge Shadows back in the day. They had a turbo. It was so Shelby, Carroll Shelby, the infamous Shelby behind Shelby Mustang, right?
Yeah.
He also did some stuff with Dodge.
You're right.
He did a Dodge Dakota Shelby. Hey, what's up, Lloyd?
What up,
and
Lloyd?
he did like the Dodge Daytonas, and so anyway, they made a hatchback. That had, actually, the one that we had was a 4-door even.
Okay.
But it had a little like 2.5 liter turbo, and the turbo was like no bigger than your fist. So it would hit like it's like the Eco. It's like it would hit right away, all that torque right away.
Is that when he made like that one where it's like race like hell or go like hell? Yeah, the GLH.
GLH, yes.
Is that the one?
It's similar.
Okay.
But that GLH in shape is very similar to your
the
uncle's Chevette.
Oh, get out.
And to my mom's Hyundai Excel that she had.
Damn.
It's very square, very hatch,
There we go.
very boxy.
Omni GLH. Yeah.
Omni GLH.
There
yeah,
we
go.
go.
Like hell.
Good deal. Chris Barrow says, I have a 2010 Taurus SHO tuned by Bruce City Boost.
Nice.
Fun car to drive.
I have a 2017 Explorer Sport with the same drivetrain, also tuned by Bruce City Boost,
which
and
RIP.
it's also a lot of fun to drive,
Yeah.
and it gaps almost everything on the street to 60 mile an hour.
It's gapped everything.
Pretty much every car that's come
to
here.
this day. Every car that
0 to 55, I got you covered. At 56, watch out, they're coming.
She's a bad bitch. Now we need to do this. Betty versus Blanche.
Oh, Blanche got her covered, I'm sure.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
0 to 60?
Especially now that Ryan's been tuning it.
Oh, Lord.
We do need to do some live tuning with Ryan on that. So anyway, the Explorer Sport, rest in peace. You mentioned Bruce City Boost.
Yes.
Those guys were amazing. I don't know what took place there, but, we are saddened that they're no longer a part of our industry.
Yeah.
And tuning, they were a great option for us for these SHOs, for the Explorers, Sports, and stuff like that.
Yeah. A lot of the V6 stuff they were able to take care and handle.
Yeah, man. So, we miss those dudes, but we carry on in their name. That sounds to me like an externally wastegated NX2 getting ready to leave, or it could be an externally wastegated
I think that's Bob.
CPE kit, one or the other.
That's Bob.
But it's definitely got
that dump.
some nuts.
Amanda, you saying Betty White versus Blanche? You taking Betty White?
Yeah, she's crazy.
What?
She's crazy.
I'm going Betty White just because Blanche. I don't know, man.
Nah, Blanche got it covered, bro.
Oh Lord, we got to do it. We have to do it now.
Okay, I'm in.
We have to do it now. Amanda, Betty White versus Blanche. Let's go.
We'll do it.
Yeah, 0 to 60 about 4.5 seconds.
We do need to get Blanche back in here. I've got to pull. When I did the intercooler install, I fucked up and forgot to plug in her horn.
Is it just unplugged?
It is just unplugged. I was able to get. I was able to get underneath through the wiggle and roll and get up there and touch the harness.
Okay.
But I cannot also touch where it goes.
Okay.
So I have to take the fucking bumper off to put the goddamn horn back on.
No, Blanche. My comments might be delayed. No worries. Yeah, I probably read it a little bit later. She's on Blanche. Team Blanche.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say
Blanche.
Team Betty White just because Betty White be like whacking everything around.
Funny enough, we're talking about Betty White today.
Yeah.
The video that I watched on the way in this morning, my Hormozy first period, he talked about Betty White. And he talked about how she had just passed away like 4 weeks earlier to him making that video, 6 weeks earlier, something like that. And he's talking about how like in the last 6 weeks, nobody's probably thought about her until I just said her name right here.
Yikes.
Yeah, and that's that aha, and I think that's what he tries to preach in his videos is where like if you're wasting your time worried about what other people think of you, you're quite literally wasting your time because the moment you die, even if you've accomplished as much as someone like Betty White, who was multi-decade successful, not 1 decade, not a one-hit wonder. I mean, she was successful for 50, 60 years of her career.
Sure.
So to say that she had an impact on people would be an understatement, and yet when she's dead and gone, 6 weeks later, they've forgotten about her.
Jesus, 50 to 60 years. I'm willing to say more than that because she died at what, 99?
99, yeah. She was like 14 days shy of her 100th birthday.
Bro. When did she become famous? Did you say like in her 30s or something?
I think so, yeah.
So you're talking about 70 years in the spotlight.
Right. And so she was a great humanitarian. She did a lot of philanthropy. She did a lot of donating and stuff like that. So she and we still watch her on Golden Girls. My wife and I, we still tune into Golden Girls, pretty frequently to go to bed. But yeah, so it's just that thing about where, like, if you're worried about what other people are thinking about you, they're not thinking about you.
Yeah.
That's your own ego. Get rid of it.
They're going to forget about you.
Yeah, and it's your own ego that makes you think that they're thinking about you. It's not that that they're actually thinking about you.
Yeah.
It's your ego going, oh, he's thinking about my beard is out. Nobody gives a fuck that your beard's out of place.
Yeah.
The only person that gives a fuck is you, and you thinking that they care.
Right.
And that doubles down on your caring. Which really, we need to remove that. We need to strip ourselves of that ego.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to be like, my beard's fucked up, take me or leave me. This is who I am. Anyway. Blanche for the win. How cool could it have been if Ford would have pulled through with the Ford Thunder during the SVT days? Yeah, the Ford Thunder was the Ranger, right? They made a Ranger replica of a Lightning. So it was like, short wheelbase, obviously, single cab, short wheelbase with a blower motor. If I remember right, they did like a 302 with a blower or something like that. But yeah, I mean, we have delusions of grandeur of doing that ourselves here.
Yeah.
We desire to take Rangers and put Coyotes in them with blowers and put EcoBoosts on them with big turbos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we're doing now is we're going to start that with Scott Johnson's car. We're doing the Coyote swap there.
Yes, we are.
And we're learning things about Coyote swaps and about wiring harnesses and what parts are interacting, and so that we can continue on that path of learning.
I mean, honestly, how cool would it be that we grab and we dedicate ourselves to the Fox body and actually put a new 5.0 in, you know what I'm saying, in homage of their 5.0, and then we put a 2.3 in that bitch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
in homage of the SVO. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, people have already been doing it, so it's definitely something that we can do and learn and get better at. And
amazing.
Cody and I have talked about it. We want to build cool shit, and not just do bolt-on stuff. So that's something that we're going to hopefully be able to tackle a little bit more going into 2024.
Right. No, obviously for that we'll need in-house fabrication.
Yeah, we're working on that as well.
Work and do that and decide to do that.
Both fabrication on like the actual welding and designing of parts, but also in the making and manufacturing of parts, like CNC and stuff like that. So we've got a couple guys on our team already, Doug and Gaylord, who do offer those services for us, for our customers. We're working on trying to come up with ways to be able to get them to be more of a full-time involvement with our company that we can have that as part of our growth. So
for sure. Amanda says, my Explorers are literally named after Golden Girls.
Yep.
How many Golden Girls are there?
There's 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have 2 more cars to get the whole...
I don't know that we'll ever name any off of...
What'd you name the silver one?
The silver one?
The Silver Explorer.
I don't know that we ever actually named it anything other than Silver Bullet, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And that was in reference to her grandfather. Her grandfather had a Nissan minivan that, God rest his soul, he was still driving. I think he drove it till he was like 94 or 96 years old.
And
like came and picked us up from the airport and scared the ever-living shit out of my wife and I. Ran over a dog, like all kinds of crazy shit.
What?
And so he called his minivan she said we named it Sterling. I don't recall that. So I've slept since then. I've had a stroke since then, but yeah, that sounds about right. Sterling Silver.
Okay.
But yeah, so her grandfather, the Silver Bullet, was definitely
Holy,
it was a whole ass vibe, man.
Like, how do we have restrictions? Should we have restrictions for 90 some year old drivers?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I mean, I don't want to be driving with him. It was the scariest ride I've ever gone on in my life.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, no. Next. Sterling was my silver one. Yeah, I never got to see that one.
Yeah, because we got rid of that. Let me think. The white one is a 17, and it was like 3 months old. So I think we got it. Then we got rid of that in 17.
Okay. Yeah.
Like early 17, like maybe like April, May, something like that. Because the 17 was a demo. The general manager of the dealership that we bought it from had driven it for like 4,000 miles. Yeah. So we stole that truck, the white one. The dog was okay, we think. Yeah, we think. Yeah, rest in peace, Grandpa Joe.
R.I.P. Joe.
Yeah, he was an amazing human and gave the best hugs. And one of the most capturing memories for me of meeting my wife's family is we surprised them. We came up there and didn't tell them we were coming, and brought the great grandkids and all that.
Oh shoot!
And the hugs that he would give, and in that moment, that hug that I got from him was just like family.
Damn.
You know, and he was just a total different generation. You know, he was born, I want to say, like 1900 or something, like 1890. Like he fought in the World Wars, and he was a Purple Heart, and he was a survivor on one of the naval ships that got bombed, and just crazy stuff that he would share with us, and that we got to be in his world. And it was only a short time that we got to be. Amanda obviously got to spend her whole life there with him, but. Yeah, man, it was wild.
That's crazy. Holy moly! So
yeah, she said she's got the video. She says it's the best. Yeah, no, it was a great. Yeah, it was great. We surprised them.
Look at my baby girl coming in through saying, "Hey guys, what's up, baby?"
Beautiful.
So yeah, I told you I was at work. What do you mean?
Yeah, right.
1923. Holy moly! So a lot of the people, I mean, a lot of grandparents that lived, I mean, that were here, they almost all of them went to war.
I don't think you had a choice. The draft. I think back then, right? It was different.
Yeah.
I don't think it is like it is today.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's crazy. By the way, I would love to have someone on the podcast like that. That would be absolutely insane. Not just car stuff, but all the other stuff.
For sure.
Let's see. What we got going on? What we got going on today, JP? We are
today is the cancellation of most of the Black Friday Cyber Monday sales.
Yes,
right?
they were canceled actually
last night at midnight.
Last night. So
we do have a couple more still going to the end of the month. So you've got a couple of days.
Some of them are actually extending into the first week of December,
right?
If I'm not mistaken.
We did get a notification, I think, from Cobb that they extended it for 2 additional days.
Yes, so until the 29th, so until tomorrow.
Until the 29th.
You can still get Cobb at 10% off.
And that is a ProCharge 4.6 fired up in the background. Code Dog just finished an oil change and a blower oil change on that.
Good deal.
And I believe that is our last incoming appointment, which allows us to hopefully finish up on the white car.
Good.
Except for the blower, or the manifold rather. We're waiting on the manifold still.
Gotcha. Speaking of the devil, is that a ProCharger on that thing?
It is, yes.
Good deal. ProCharger sale ends tonight, actually. Yep. We have it listed on the website for 12% off. I mean, I don't know, but 12 is better than 10.
And 12 is better than 0.
I'm just saying, 12% off. Check it out and hit us up for installation on that as well.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. All right, we got everybody on here. We got my mom. We got my girl. We got your wifey.
Yes.
Sorry, everybody. I love podcasts. Even more Parker Foreman podcast. Oh, girl.
That's only because she loves us. Yeah. She's cheating the system.
I love it. She's saying all the right things. I love it, baby.
She's a keeper.
She is,
you know
100%. I mean? I told her I was keeping her for a while.
Yes, sir.
I love it. Yeah, man. So anyway, I was telling the boys that this is probably our 6th, 7th, or 8th podcast that we've done. Friday we did 4.
Yeah.
Okay? I would count that as 4 different podcasts.
I was telling Schlump about our success.
Did you now?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I told Schlump about, I was like, dude, we had to stream for work on Black Friday. I'm like, my level of respect for you and your ability to interact
everything
with chat
that he does is
and everything.
insane.
I'm like, it just went to a whole nother level. And he's like, what? You had to stream for work? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, with Black Friday sales, blah, blah, blah. He's like, what'd you do? And so I told him, I'm like, we did an hour on each platform, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we had 518 viewers at peak. And he's like, no shit. So that was pretty cool.
Really, dude?
Yeah.
That's
but it definitely 100% gave me a new perspective, because we had only 518 at peak.
Yeah.
We had roughly 30 or so on average, that were engaged. But even with only 30 people, the questions were coming kind of hot and heavy, and I couldn't keep up. This dude's got 800 to 1,100 viewers every single night on average.
Thousands of comments.
Keeps up with the fucking chat. keeps up with the chat.
Sure.
And so it makes sense because now, like when I go back and I look at the photos and stuff of his streaming setup, right?
Yeah.
He's got one that is just
Monitor.
the chat.
Oh, yeah.
And it's right above his gameplay. So it's gameplay and then it's like the chat. And so he literally has that whole thing filled, whatever, how many 27 inches or whatever of chat scroll. So that's how he does it. You know, like we were doing it from my phone, which is 2.5 inches of chat scroll.
Listen,
you know what I mean? But as you grow into these things, these are things that you identify as, oh, this is how someone above me is doing it better than me.
Right. I mean, what we've been able to do with Parker Performance as a whole is, you guys have heard of scratching and clawing, right? We just take what we have and make the absolute best out of whatever tool
we can do.
Yeah, whatever tool we have. Like right now, funny enough, we have a 6-year-old camera still working and kicking for the YouTube, and then we have an iPhone up there for the live, so you guys can see us live, so we can interact with you guys.
And then a superior Android here, so we can read the chat. Got him.
Okay, I don't wanna. You know,
Got him.
You know, I don't want everyone to argue on the chat.
All right, chat. Apple or Android?
Chat. Apple or Android. Let's
Drop
go.
a 1 for
right
Android.
now.
Drop a 1 for Android.
No, Apple or Android. Let's go right here
drop a 1
on the
for
chat
Android.
right now.
Ooh.
Josh is stuck on the old ways of Android, and I got to tell you, I'm very surprised that he still hasn't.
All hail King Android. We're 2 for 2.
What is going on here?
Intelligent people are tuned into the chat.
Oh,
3 for 3.
All right, listen.
Okay, all right.
Clearly. Yeah, clearly you guys need to.
Oh, Zach, you let me down.
Appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you.
Oh, no.
Forever and ever. Forever and ever.
All right, it's still 3-2. I'm still
We like being second place, but it's okay. It's all right. We're still doing things better. Anyway, yeah, so the idea, by the way, is that that we have a laptop here, sitting here. That way our view of the comments and the replay is bigger.
For sure.
And better than obviously Android.
And stuff like having the sales right there on the laptop that we can look at instead of you and I having to remember, ProCharge is on sale.
Being able to have a couple of opened windows.
Hey, Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah, exactly. So this is very different than what we originally had thought about doing as a podcast as a whole. So right now, what we're focusing primarily is creating content.
Yeah.
Something that we can sit down, turn the camera on, and just let's go for it. You know what I mean? Right now, we're doing it this way to where, like, you guys are live, you guys can see us, and then later on, by the way, on YouTube, we just uploaded our first episode.
So if you missed it,
go check it out.
You can get it now.
And then, obviously, you can see the improvements. We've been able to we moved the camera from the angle that we had there to right center in front of us, which, I mean, it looks way better than the first one.
Significantly better.
So
we moved some of the armatures so that they weren't in our face
in our
and
faces.
blocking us.
And then obviously we're
and while we love Steeda, we do desire to replace this with like an actual Parker Performance banner.
Correct. Our whole background. Whole background. I don't know if you guys have seen the thumbnail for the YouTube podcast, but yeah, the whole background being black with the big logo. As we go, we'll eventually do that. Oh, I was talking to Yus about maybe adding a second table or a table like this.
Yeah,
to where we can plug in all 4 mics, even though there's 5 of us, 4 mics, and then just make it just a little bit bigger. But we'll get there eventually. I know we have a second camera, so the idea would be, the 2 cameras, the 2 camera angle plus the other one. So we're working our way there. Ever think of uploading a podcast to Spotify for audio listening? I haven't thought about it, but now that you're mentioning,
now I'm gonna have to think about it.
I'm gonna have to make a fucking business account there and load them there. I mean, it's not a bad idea at all. Just want to make sure the audio is good. So
right,
yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got. ProCharger's ending today. A couple of sales ended yesterday. By the way, you can still get your Vengeance clutch at a discount, 10% off on the website. I think they're. What do you got? Okay, you got a little OG Parker Performance.
You still get your Parker Performance merch.
Yes.
Parker Performance T-shirts.
Oh, by the way, this is Parker. This is PP. This is PP2 to PP3, I believe, and then this is PP1 right here. This is the OG.
Look, it's like falling off.
So much so, man.
But I still wear it because it's my work one. you know?
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, it's cold as hell in here. Alexa, what's the temperature?
56.
Right now, it's 54 degrees.
54.
Ooh.
I was close.
All right, so it's 54 degrees here in Florida. By the way, that is insane.
That might as well be 0 for a Florida boy.
Yeah, I think it's a high of 58 and a low of 50 today. High of 58, so.
Warhorse checking
Definitely
in.
different.
What's up, brother? What's
Okay,
up?
what up, Matt? How you doing, brother? How's everything? How's the car? Let's see.
Better than mine.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. I'm missing one person that needs to be on this podcast, and he's currently drinking.
Oh.
I got stuff to do, my boy.
Okay, well, we'll have him later on. Cody hasn't been on the podcast, so we have to bring him on eventually. And then, y'all wild. Nah, you wild.
You ain't seen nothing yet,
Nothing
boy.
at all. Anyway, our first talk was about that, and I kind of wanted to, emphasize that, how we get into the cars. Because, like, people come in and they see everything that we have here, thank God. And then...
Hold up. I don't mean to interrupt you, but Matthew's saying his car is broken? Do tell. Might need a water pump. Oh, that's easy.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, that happens. Easy enough to take and inspect the. There's a little weep hole, and you can see that the coolant will kind of like, I don't want to say metastasize, but that's what comes to my brain. That's like a cancer fucking thing. But
Okay.
It'll like harden, and the coolant will get in there underneath that little weep hole, and that's how we were able to find that Gustavo's
Gotcha.
was failed.
And, yeah, you'll see the greenish.
Yeah,
well,
what we
depending on
did
your
is we just
coolant.
took a bore scope, and we just shoved the bore scope on the bottom side there and looked at the water pump, and we confirmed. So, easy enough to fix, cheap enough part. I want to say the part, our cost was like $109, $120, something like that. $109, $119, something like that.
Easy peasy.
Labor, if you have to do it yourself, is fairly easy to do, or if you have to pay somebody, it's probably only going to be 2 hours labor or something. So
Good
it
deal.
won't break the bank too bad. But
Good
have
deal.
them check the while they're there. Have them check and see and do an upgrade, like if you have any of the desires to do things like a coolant reservoir or a 160-degree thermostat, or upgrading your radiator hoses to like a Mishimoto radiator, the silicone radiator hoses.
Nice.
You can do all that at the same time because you're going to be having the coolant system open. The coolant system's going to be drained, and
Yeah.
so the
You
labor,
have access to all.
so the labor to do those things while you're there are significantly lower than at another time in the future. So.
Good deal. Might something really good to look at. I think we sell thermostats on the website.
Yep, Mishimoto's the go-to for that. We used to sell the Rat Stats, but we sell the Mishimoto's now, and yeah, all good stuff.
Good deal.
Pressure test to confirm. Yeah, absolutely. We usually try and take a pressure test and put it on like when we leave here and come back in the morning. That way it has enough time to sit under pressure and hopefully force the leak out. So,
Oh, shit. Well, good deal.
well, hopefully that's easy enough to fix, brother.
Yeah. Quick thing here. You guys are going to PRI
We are.
from the 6th to the 12th, I believe.
Yes, we
Is it?
leave the evening of the 6th, and the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, we're back on the 10th. So 7th,
deal.
8th, and 9th, we're there in Indy.
Yep.
And we're back here on the 10th. We'll be back to work on the 11th.
Now, this is obviously everyone's first time going to PRI.
Yes.
It'll be an exciting event.
This is
It's
actually the first automotive trade show that I'll be going to and attending as an automotive
Right,
industry.
yeah.
You know, I've gone to trade shows or I guess they wouldn't have been trade shows. They would have just been like automotive convention center, like, you know, where they bring the new cars and that stuff.
Yeah,
But I've
yeah,
gone
yeah.
there as like a consumer. I think those called auto shows, right?
Auto
Where they're like
shows,
just
yeah.
demonstrating
like
the
Tampa
next
Auto Show, and they bring all
Correct.
the new
They bring
new
like the
cars.
2024s and the 2025, concept cars and this kind of stuff. So I've been to that as a consumer. I've never been to SEMA or PRI as either a consumer or as a business.
Gotcha.
So this is the first time for that. And like we were talking about, that I think that I look back at my real estate career and I see like some of the most exponential amount of growth for me was after having attended my first conventions.
Gotcha.
And getting into those circles and getting into like-minded people and masterminding with those people and joining Facebook groups with other people of like mind and masterminding and this kind of stuff.
Just snowballs from there.
Yeah, it really did. And it was kind of like that was one of the catalysts to my success in my real estate company.
Right.
And so I'm excited for this because of that. I'm excited for it for many reasons, but I think that's probably the leading reason.
Right. I mean, you're going there with a very different mindset than a consumer would.
For sure.
And we're going in there with goals.
Yep.
Our goal is to basically meet as many head of these brands and vendors as we possibly can, and make a relationship with them.
For sure.
And just,
especially people that we're already doing business with that we've not yet had the chance to put our hand in theirs.
For sure.
That's very high on my priority list. And then also people that we've not yet done business with, but maybe we have met or talked to or kicked the can down the road about becoming a vendor or whatever that might have been. So I'm excited about that.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited about learning about the new products and being able to bring that stuff. That's the reason we're bringing Yusuf with us on this trip, is because Yusuf is literally going to be filming and making reels of all of the newest stuff.
Good shit.
So we're excited about that. So make sure you guys stay tuned to our social medias, because he's going to be sharing all of that.
Good deal.
And for us, we are going to try and get together with a lot of, like I said, vendors and other industry leaders, because that is something that I want to get closer to, right? It's one of those things where if someone's doing something better than you, how can you learn from them, right? And
sure.
That Hormozy talks about the fair exchange. What kind of value can I bring to them in return for the value that I can receive from them?
Right.
So, we have a lot of things that we do that we could bring of value, and things that we have done and failed and succeeded, and that I could share, and in return, hopefully receive something in return.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for you guys to go. I can't make it with you guys there, but I'm absolutely excited for the content, for the opportunity, and I know you guys are going to get there.
For sure.
That out.
Yeah, man, I'm stoked. I'm excited about it.
And do that. Next up will be SEMA next year, God
sure.
willing, and then
hopefully we're able to go as a whole unit.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? I would like for the whole team to be able to go, because then you're able to divide and conquer.
Right.
Because SEMA is such a large show, and I think that's kind of why I chose PRI this year.
Is it a
little smaller
event, more
and it's
niche?
less glitz and glam and more racing.
Okay.
Right. And I mean, while we are a performance shop and we do the cosmetic stuff, we do install wings and spoilers and airbags and all that stuff, wheels, tires. I don't know that SEMA is necessarily most aligned with us. I think that the performance racing industry, PRI, is more in line with owning a performance shop.
Right.
So I felt like that out of the investments and
that we could do
time and money, that the PRI one made more sense. A, it was more affordable. B, it was only a couple of days, and it's not in Vegas, it's in Indy, so all of the things were cheaper, right?
Sure.
From the Airbnb to the cost of flights, all of that was cheaper. And so, yeah, we're excited, and I'm looking forward to it. And then by next year, hopefully we've got the budget to do SEMA as a team, PRI as a team, and close the shop and leave the shop and forward the phones to our cell phones and go and learn and conquer.
And you guys are not going alone, am I correct? You guys are...
We are meeting up with Jesse from EMS.
Yep, meeting up with Jesse.
Jesse's got Max from RST House, and he's also got Ryan from PD Tuning.
Good deal.
Both of those guys will be in our Airbnb as well, so it's going to be a conglomerate. We're going to have some pretty kick-ass EcoBoost guys, some pretty kick-ass, thoughts, minds, special individuals all together, so we're really excited, man.
Yeah, I love that. Man, I love the fact that we can talk about the EcoBoost community back in 2015 and then look at us in 2023 and seeing how everything has, improved exponentially from the very beginning to now to what you can build now. It's pretty awesome.
All right, Zach's telling us about his car here. What's he got? Okay, bolt-ons, MBRP catback. The race with the CV-Fab race with the CV-Fab charge pipes, TurboSmart compact. You're going to want to get rid of that compact, Bubba. Steam and coolant expansion tank, updated fuel pressure sensor and purge valve. What you guys recommend is my next mod. So I don't see catch can. Yeah, so I would say catch can. I would change out the charge pipe with the TurboSmart compact because as you start to, because next up your short list here is going to be tune. You're going to start to lean on it. That was not illegal racing, I promise.
No, of course not.
But you're probably going to need to upgrade that TurboSmart compact. That's like a 24 or 26 millimeter opening, and it will create some compressor surge on your turbocharger, which will decrease the life expectancy of your turbocharger. So we try and get everybody to upgrade to the 50 millimeter opening, which is the CV-Fab with the race port flange and going to a race port blow-off valve.
Yes.
So I would say on your short list that would be something to do. Now I did go 11s on a stock charge pipe, stock blow-off valve.
Sure.
But I was also squeezing nitrous.
And it was also 2015.
And it was also when
we were doing
stupid shit.
And I hate saying it this way.
Yeah.
But
we've made mistakes. And
we've all made mistakes.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I had the dual port, but it's still compact, still small stuff. And I mean, there are definitely better blow valve options
for sure
currently in the market. And trust me, you're going to love the sound. You're going to love the way it looks. It's just an upgrade overall.
Zach, if you haven't yet, there is a top 5 mods list. If you just go to Google and type in Parker Performance top 5 mods, EcoBoost Mustang, and we outline basically your setup, plus the couple things that we just mentioned. Catch can, tune from Ryan at PD Tuning with an access port, which, by the way, that is on sale for discount. Up until tomorrow. So if you have not bought your tune and your cob access port yet,
yes, you do not want to pay. You do not want to pay $625 for a cob access port.
And then the next things after that, like once you've got the full bolt on and kind of have all that stuff in place, you really start thinking about a turbo upgrade and fueling.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, it's basically our stage 1 minus one or two things, which, by the way, if you guys haven't heard, we've made a Tornado stages. Currently, we have our Tornado stage 1, 2, and 3, and it's very different than all the other stages that you see around. Like a cob stage 1 versus our stage 1 is very different.
Yeah, for sure. We focus on maintenance. We focus on reliability.
So what we've been able to package together has been an entire whole package, meaning like we're taking care of your maintenance, we're taking care of your power, so we're basically grabbing all of the most popular and, by the way, most affordable to a certain extent parts and packages, and just put everything all together in one. So you're looking around $4K for the stage 1, gets you north of 350 to 370 wheel horsepower on the stock turbo. That's if you run E30. And then our stage 2 and stage 3, it just exponentially goes up, not only in price, but in power. So realistically, we will be able to put a stage 3 on your car, and it'll be a complete monster.
Yeah, and our intention there is to try and make things as turnkey as possible. You know, we've got customers that come to this platform who've never been an EcoBoost aficionado, so they don't have any idea, and they just, unfortunately get stuck in that rut of going to other brands that just sell parts. They don't really care about the longevity, the reliability, the repeatability.
Look,
they'll sell you whatever. They're just a business to sell
parts. They need to make money. They sell parts. That's the deal,
and that's fine. And they have a place. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's not the place we want to be in. At some point, obviously, we do want to just be selling parts, of course. But by the same token, our focus is creating things for the enthusiast from an enthusiast mindset, stuff that makes it simple on you. We want to solve problems for you guys.
Yeah, I think Hormozy talks about not giving up your values for business.
For sure.
Or not giving up your values for views, or not, you know what I'm saying? Just staying true to what it is.
For sure.
And I don't think we'll ever guide you to where, like, oh, let's just sell them the compact so we can race, sell them the race port later. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we don't.
I saw a lot of posts in the groups on Black Friday sales talking about, oh, well, it's just the normal price because they lowered the price, but before they lowered it, they raised it. Everybody does it. So that thing that's like on sale for $900, really regular price last week was already $900.
Right.
And then they just raised it to $1,200 and then gave you $300 off. You're so full of fucking shit if you think that. Because do you know how much fucking work would be involved in that?
Yeah.
Do you know how much work we spent getting ready for Black Friday? You think the week before Black Friday I'm going to go in and add pricing and then fuck that, number one. Number two, I would never do that because it's below my morals and my ethics and my integrity.
Yeah.
But the reality is that nobody does that. Like, nobody does that I'm aware of. Maybe that happens in retail places for like TVs and whatever.
Did you see the Target video?
I did not.
There's a video going viral right now of at Target, and this lady would grab the Black Friday and just
pull it off.
Pull it off, and then it would be the exact same pricing as the week before or whatever the fuck it was.
So that's where it can happen. Is when
100%.
When you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of employees that you can say, hey, by tomorrow, every single price needs to be changed. You can do that.
Yeah.
There's 6 of us here. We are not fucking doing that.
Trust. We're not. We're not. By the way, this Black Friday has been a very hefty one, to be honest with you. Like, I think out of compared to last year's Black Friday, we've had UPR doing 15% off. You know what I mean? Like Pro Chargers doing 12% off. Like, it was very hefty. And given that the economy is so great right now, I was very surprised by it. I'll be honest. I originally bought the compact because I was afraid of stock tune. Wouldn't like the race sport. I'm definitely going to get rid of the compact now, bro. You're gonna love it.
Yeah,
the
and you
sound
don't
is
have
just
to
better.
worry about the tune. The tune has nothing to do with the blow-off valve, thankfully.
Sure.
And these cars, they are speed density tuned. There's not a mass airflow on them, and so I think where some of that confusion gets is from other platforms that may be mass airflow tuned, and that when you make changes to charge pipes and blow-off valves, those do impact the mass airflow sensor, and therefore does require tunes.
Yeah.
That's not the case here for us in the EcoBoost platform.
No.
Sebastian says, "What's a good NA50 setup?" Bro, the best one, Boost. Boost. Yeah.
Boost.
The reality is, and this is the way that I do the consultation for any customer who's asking me about an NA setup.
Yeah.
What's your goals with NA? What's your goals as a whole? And if you want to go down the NA rabbit hole, you can do so without chasing the Cobra Jets and the Stage 4 cams and all that, and have an enjoyable car that makes, like, say, 480-ish or whatever, and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I know every one of my customers has the same addiction that I have, which is more.
Yeah.
And so the problem with NA, and with me telling any of my customers to go down the NA rabbit hole, is that the reality is it's such an expensive rabbit hole to hit any real target big numbers that you have so much sacrifice to get there.
Yes.
It's either weight loss that you have to sacrifice, or it's cost of labor for things like installing Stage 4 cams and springs and retainers and all of this stuff. And you have to do that to take advantage of things like the Cobra Jet, intake manifold.
Right.
And then you sacrifice drivability because you're using old electronics on a new car and this kind of stuff. So for me, I don't tell my customers to do NA stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What I tell my customer is to decide what kind of boost you want on the front end.
Right.
Because if you know you want a Whipple, then I'm not going to sell you an intake manifold.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you know that you want a Pro Charger or you want an ESS, that customer, while we're doing his NA build, I can happily sell him a 2018 intake manifold from 1320 that's been ported. I can sell him a GT350 intake manifold that's been ported from 1320.
A Boss 302
I can sell him a
manifold.
Boss 302 manifold that's been ported by 1320. And each of those would be an upgrade while he's in A,
Yeah.
and still be utilized and still be obtained
Once he goes
boost.
Good deal.
The problem there is if you're thinking about going to a PD blower like a Whipple or a Roush or anything, we don't offer that. We say, look, just keep your money,
Yeah.
do a drop-in filter, save your money for the boost.
Sure.
Now, some of the stuff that is going to be needed on any boost setup is a free-flowing exhaust. So you want, hopefully, off-road, but you can go catted, but hopefully off-road long tubes, hopefully some sort of X-pipe and a catback, right? So those are
preferably something quiet for the catback. That way,
for my old self.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, if you're going off-road headers and an X-pipe, you're gonna want to quiet down the catback.
Unless you're, these young bucks. These young bucks like that shit really loud, you know?
Yeah.
But like when you go into that catless, obviously the tone of the exhaust goes up. And then when you add boost, the tone of the exhaust goes up
Even
again.
higher, yeah.
So there's like deltas with each of those. So it's like if you're going to do the off-road, try and do the street version of whatever catback you like instead of the track version. Self and point,
exactly.
right? I used the Corsa Sport setup, and I used catless long tubes. If I'd have went with the Corsa Extreme setup on the catless long tubes, I think it would have just been a little bit too much.
Absolutely insane. Every time that we've done the Extremes, we've done the Roush catback with the headers and everything, and it's just the
MBRP race.
Oh Lord,
muffler deletes.
Oh my gosh, they are insanely loud. So now, yeah,
for sure.
With the combination is if you're gonna go off road, you try and put a sport version or street version catback to kind of hold the sound. Still sounds good. Your car sounds amazing. Yusuf's car sounds really good. Obviously, same exhaust setup and everything. So
yeah, Seabass, that's my recommendations on NA is not NA. Because to go down the rabbit hole of NA, and if you want to make 550 NA, you're either using an exotic fuel like an M1 or something like this, or you're making cash sacrifices in large quantities. You're buying $2,500 worth of cams, another $1,000 worth of springs, another $1,000 in ancillary parts. Usually you're at $4 or $5 grand, which is almost the entry cost of a blower.
Yeah.
And then you're going to pay a shop like ours somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,500 to $3,500 in labor to do that job. So now you're into the cost of a blower. And so apples to apples, you're going to be making less power than you would have with the blower off of RIP, and you're already going to be in the sacrificing of things.
Sure.
Because now drivability is going to change and stuff like that. So
and he currently has a 10-speed, right?
Seabass does have a 10-speed. Yeah.
Seabass, ESS, G3.
Yeah, be done.
Be a 93 tune, you're done.
700 horsepower,
you're done.
And you can pulley up if it's too much. You can go to a larger pulley. You don't have to run the 120 like we did on Yusuf's car.
Yeah, like what we're doing with Yusuf's car has been, man, I want to say like it's been refreshing.
Yeah, simple.
Seeing that just kind of bolts on. Seeing that it just bolts on. Seeing that you make so much good power on just pump gas. And
93.
Unreal. And it sounds amazing too. Speaking of the devil.
Speaking
of
the devil.
Bobby just won a race?
Versus?
John.
Yeah. I mean.
He pulled on him because I was driving the car.
Who's John?
How'd that feel?
John's? You were driving John's?
How'd that feel?
Base map, he only pulled at the very end.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, it felt like home for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like home for you, though. Don't lie.
Underdog.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I knew I was gonna lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do 50. I was like, bro, come on, dog. Like.
Yeah.
Good deal. Yeah.
But all what I need for an ESS, honestly, you just buy the ESS kit, right?
Just give us a call.
And we can even send you a thing, and obviously, you can even affirm it and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
But just do the ESS kit, right? And then do a set of injectors. Do a booster pump if you have a stock fuel pump, or do a drop-in pump, either way.
Mm-hmm.
And then just tune, and then install. That's it. So
Yeah.
It's really simple. You could do FIC 1000s, run 700-ish. I think right now they're on. Oh, I don't know when that sale ended. I think it ended.
I think.
But they run like 725 retail without the sale. You can get IDX 1050s. They're a little bit more money. I think they're like more like $1,000.
But you're capped a little higher, right?
You do have a little bit more flow at 1050s than you do at the FIC 1000s.
Okay.
And some tuners prefer the IDXs over the FICs. We haven't had any issues, knock on wood, with either.
Gotcha.
And then you would, if you have a booster pump available, they're usually used. I mean, we usually keep them here. Used, you can pick them up for in the 150 to 250 range typically. New, they're 350. But you can run a booster pump. Or if you don't want to run a booster pump, by the way, that's plug and play. If you don't want to run a booster pump, you can just do a drop-in pump rather, something like the DW400.
Yeah.
Or we do the TI 267s, 274s, 285s. Hellcat pump. I'm sure you've heard it referred to.
Right.
So we can do either or. You don't necessarily want to do both. We did both on USIS. We did the 274 drop-in pump and the booster pump, and it was too much fuel.
Gotcha.
It was like it was just kind of tripping out every once in a while. So we disconnected currently the booster pump. So the booster pump is not active on the upgraded fuel pump, and he's having no problems whatsoever.
Good deal. Oil pump gears?
On your auto car, it is not a need. It's not a necessity. It is definitely a cheap insurance policy. It is not required. We do not require it unless you are also installing two-step, trans brake, this kind of stuff, and you're
Balls to the
planning,
walls where
and you're
you're
planning
good,
on
yeah.
sitting on the limiter and sitting at the light on the limiter and this kind of stuff. Then we do require it.
Gotcha.
We kind of treat the oil pump gears as a very matter of fact. If you're a manual car and boosting, we want you to have oil pump gears. If you're an auto car and you're racing, we want you to have oil pump gears. If you're a manual car and you're not boosted, we don't really care.
Okay.
If you're an auto car and you're not drag racing, we don't really care.
Gotcha.
Right? It's more of an insurance policy than anything. We have personally, knock on wood, never had an OPG failure in any of our customers, but we do know customers that have had it fail, nationwide. And so we just feel like it's smart money, smart insurance.
Sure.
You're, $1,500 in. We try and schedule it around an oil change interval, so you're not paying for your $200 oil change and then 3 weeks in paying for another oil change with the OPG job. So we try and schedule it around your oil change interval. You get a fresh oil change with 5W50, liquid moly, Ceratec or MOS2 as needed. We do all OEM gaskets. We use the FFRE cranksaver stud or the kinetic cranksaver stud, whichever we can get our hands on at the time. Like right now, our stock, we don't have any of the kinetics. We do have 10 of the FFREs left. So we use a good cranksaver stud. We use the Boundary Billet crank sprocket and the Boundary Billet oil pump gears. And so that, and while we're in there, if you want to do things like HD chains or upgraded tensioners, the Boss 302 tensioners, the upgraded guides, we can do all that for just the cost of the parts because we're already there for the labor. So there's no additional cost to that labor. But yeah, boys, it's definitely a necessity on the manual cars and a recommendation on the auto cars.
If you're going to be beating those
And if you're going to beat the shit out of it, let's go ahead and do them.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good deal. All right. I don't know how long we've been live, but for me,
Hour and 45 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
I have almost finished getting the Vorschlag product lineup onto the website.
Oof.
Shout out to our friends over at Vorschlag. They've been doing a lot of S650 stuff, getting the tech out for the Dark Horse and the S650 Mustang GT. So I've been trying to get their products added so that we can add the S650 products. And so if you don't know, we do have the S650 products on the website.
Yes.
And it's got its own collection. You can go into GT models and select 2024 Mustang.
Yeah.
There's now over 100 products. I was really trying to get to that number. I was trying to get over 100. So
let me see what that is.
Oh,
I think that's
the battery, maybe.
You think so?
I don't know. That's what happened last time. Battery. Waiting for live video signal. The broadcast is waiting for a signal that should resume shortly. Okay, is it back? Let's see if it came back.
All right.
I think we're back.
We did get a cable for our little setup here on the iPhone, and it ended up being the wrong cable.
It's okay. I ordered the right one today.
We ordered the right one today, so we wouldn't be running into any
issue.
low battery issue. We started at 74%. It's down to 20.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, it's been an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I was saying all that about the S650 and the Vorschlag stuff because, unfortunately, I do need to get back to work on that stuff.
Yes, sir.
I have 3 products left that I need to get in from Vorschlag, and then I'm moving on to adding some Keltrack products. So, we're working hard because those are the S650 guys. They're spending their time and energy and effort right now on the S650.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of piggybacking on that, learning from what they're implementing, and then adding that to our website and updating our website.
Good deal.
So we don't, unfortunately, have our own S650 budget yet, and we don't have any customers of our own that have brought us one. But if you have one, let us know because we have some opportunities for you.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave this at that.
Yeah, man.
We're going to go live a little bit later.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think every time that we're doing this, we're feeling more comfortable. And we really appreciate you guys just kind of sticking around and talking to us and giving us
shooting
ideas.
the shit.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This is the PP Boyz Podcast.
And we'll see you again next time.
And we'll see you later. All right, peace. Ciao.
I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that say stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up.